I've got so many messages from you guys to try to combine the one candlestick strategy with other entry models to see if we can get better entries. Now in this video, I'm going to explain to you something very secretive. I know it is not secretive as such, but if someone does not show it to you, you'll not be able to see it on the charts. This is going to be the AMD pattern combined with the one candlestick strategy. Once you combine these two, it will make things more clear for you guys. So please watch the video from the beginning to the end. Don't skip it at all, because some of you guys skip the videos and then you start asking me questions in the comment section down below. It's okay for you to ask questions, but please watch the video so that you understand everything properly. Also guys, if you're new to the channel, give a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us grow together. Let's go onto the screen now and let's get started. So what we are looking at here on the screen is an illustration that I've drawn for you guys to explain to you guys how trading occurs in the market and how you can be able to use it with the one candlestick strategy in the end, because you'll be able to understand what is actually happening with the candles and what's happening in the market. So in the market, we have buyers and we have sellers, and we have a middleman who is the market maker. Sometimes the market makers are the brokers. There are brokers who act as market makers, but there are brokers who just act as middlemen, and then they get your trades and send them to liquidity providers who are like the big banks, the hedge funds and all that. So this market maker here, you can call this the large institutions, the hedge funds, or just the liquidity providers, right? Your broker can also be a market maker, can play this same role right here, right? So I want to explain to you something very profound that if you understand it, it's going to really change the way you see the market, and it will help you with your entries when it comes to trading, especially the one candlestick strategy. But before we go forward, guys, I would like to let you know that I am going to do a giveaway for leveraged. I'm going to give you guys a 10k sprint challenge account at the end of the month. So to enter the draw, just go use the link in the description, purchase an account of any size. You can even start buy this one for $8.88. This one, the Turbo Trade Challenge. Then once you've purchased this, you will enter the draw automatically to win a 10k sprint challenge account. So use the link in the description so that you can also participate in that draw. All right. And then also I have HFM here, which is the broker that I'm using right now. If you're looking for a broker that you can trust, you can use HFM. The link is in the description. I know so many of you guys are waiting for the copy trading service. I'm waiting for some approvals before I get started with the copy trading. I'll let you guys know. So please also join the Telegram group so that you can be able to get that announcement when I announce. HFM is a very good broker with very good accounts, which includes the Infinity X Cent account, Zero Spread account, and also these pro accounts right here. They will give you the best trading conditions out there. So use the links in the description, sign up with these guys, right? So let's get started here. So when you come into the market, you will come into the market as either a buyer or a seller. Most of the people, let's start with the buyers. When you come into the market as a buyer, you want to buy, for example, you want to buy gold, right? You will be bidding to buy at a given price, right? You will come in and say, I want to buy gold at a certain price, right? Let's say you want to buy it at 4,500. That's what you want to buy gold at, right? So you'll be bidding, you'll be sending your bid to buy gold at that price, 4,500, right? So who do you send your bid to? Because in the market you're bidding, there are many bidders also, right? It's like an auction. Actually, the market is like an auction. There are many buyers placing their bids, all right, to buy at a certain price. And then on the opposite side, there are sellers asking to sell at a given price. Now the sellers are asking, the buyers are bidding, right? So the number of buyers who are bidding to buy at a certain price has to be higher than the number of sellers who are asking to sell at that given price for the price to be able to go bullish. I hope you guys understand that. If there are very many people bidding to buy at a certain price, then the price is most likely to go bullish. But before it goes bullish, the person who is going to determine that is the market maker right here in the middle, because all these bids and the asks from the sellers are going to go through the market maker. Now, how does the market maker work? The market maker sets both the bid and ask prices, right, on the chart. Is the one who will set it in the market. For example, the seller will come with his gold, and then he will say, I am selling my gold at, say, let's just say $100, right? Let's say I'm selling my gold at $100. That's what the seller will say. I'm selling at $100. The market maker, for the market maker to make some money or to make money off of these transactions, what the market maker will tell the seller is that there is nobody willing to buy your gold at $100. The people who are available, they want to buy your gold at $99. Are you willing to sell it at that price? That is why they call it an ask price. The seller is asking the market maker if he can sell his gold at $100. So the market maker will reply and say, no, you can sell the gold right now at $99. So the seller, if he agrees, he will sell his gold at $99. So the market maker will take that sell transaction and will add it into a liquidity pool where there are so many other sellers who are selling at that given price. So it creates a liquidity pool within the market maker. The market maker will be having a liquidity pool that is accumulating of sellers at $99. Some will sell at $99, some will sell at 99.5, some will sell at even 98. So the market maker will always give the sellers a lower price than what they are actually asking to sell for. So if they are asking to sell at $100, for example, the market maker will give them a price of $99. Then the buyers will be bidding to buy at a certain price. For example, the buyer will come and say, I want to buy at $100, the same amount which the seller was offering. So the buyer will say, I want to buy at $100. He will be bidding to buy at $100. Some will be bidding to buy at $101. But the market maker will tell the buyer that no, the sellers who are available are willing to sell to you at $102 or $101. So the market maker will always tell the buyer a slightly higher price than what the seller is actually asking to sell at. I hope you guys understand. So this market maker here will sell to the buyer or tell the buyer a slightly higher price and tell the seller a slightly lower price. So that difference in price that the market maker is creating, that is why they call him a market maker. He creates the price in the market. So the market maker will manipulate the price that the seller is offering and also manipulate the price that the buyer will be able to buy at. So what happens is that there will be that difference. So for example, he gave the seller a price of $99, which the seller agreed to, and then now he has a difference of $1 there. Then he will increase the original price of the seller to $101. So he will have an extra $1 there. So he will have a $2 difference in price that he's offering the buyer from the seller. So he will make $2 in this transaction. Both the buyer and seller will make a profit here, for example, but the market maker will always be assured of a difference of $2 in that transaction, which is how the market makers or liquidity providers will make money in the market. So having an understanding of this, you should know that the market maker plays a very big role in how the price of an asset moves. For example, how will the market maker make the market go bullish or bearish? What happens is that the market maker has access to the data. So he sees how many sellers are in the market and how many buyers are in the market. So if he sees that there are so many sellers in the market and there are few buyers in the market, what he does is that he induces the market or he manipulates the market by creating what we see on the charts as fake outs or liquidity grabs and whatever. So how does he do this? He does this, for example, if there are very many sellers in the market and few buyers in the market, what he does is that he lowers the price so that the sellers reduce, or some people will cross from being sellers and they go and start buying. So the market maker will lower the cost or the price of the asset slightly by lowering or telling the buyers a lower price. For example, if the sellers are selling at $100 and the buyers are willing to buy at $102, what the market maker will do is he will offer the buyers a very good price instead of the price that the buyer was willing to buy at. For example, if the buyer was buying at $102, the market maker will tell the buyer, I will give you at $100, and then he will tell the seller, I will only buy at $99, something like that. So he reduces the price on the side of the sellers and also reduces the price on the side of the buyers. That will attract more buyers within the market for that period than sellers, and therefore the price will start going up, it will start rallying. So that is how they manipulate the market, by just changing how they are offering prices to buyers and sellers. Let me show you guys an illustration here to make you understand this more on the chart. Now on the chart we have what we call the AMD pattern. The AMD pattern is just accumulation, manipulation, distribution. This pattern here is created only by the market maker. The market maker, this person here I showed you in the middle, this one here, he's the one who creates the AMD pattern because he is the one in control of the liquidity within the market. So the AMD pattern happens within the candles. Here I'm using a bullish candle as an illustration, but it can happen also in a bearish candle, and it happens on all time frames. It can happen on a monthly, weekly, daily, or even 4 hour, even 1 minute chart. So the AMD pattern happens, for example, in this bullish market. The market will first accumulate, then to manipulate, then distribute. So this accumulation phase is when this market maker here is taking both sellers and buyers at the same time. He's taking sellers, he's taking buyers, he's taking sellers, almost an equal number of sellers and buyers. That is when the market keeps on moving in a range. It moves up and down in a range. It is not going in one direction, but it's just caught up in a range, in a tight range like this. There, the market makers here are accumulating liquidity. They are accumulating liquidity from both sellers and buyers. Okay, so the buyers and sellers, while the price is moving up and down here, they are all not making money, because the price is not going down if you're selling and it's not going up if you're buying. It's just caught up in that range. So the market maker here is just accumulating orders, right? After the market maker sees, if he sees that the market has accumulated more positions, okay, enough liquidity, he will then decide and say the buyers have been slightly fewer than the sellers. The sellers are more, so there is slightly more liquidity on the sellers than the buyers. So what he will do, he will manipulate the sellers. He will manipulate the sellers. So he will push the price down. So the sellers will add in even more trades here. These sellers here will start adding in even more trades here when they see the market has broken out of this tight range. They will add in more positions, and then they will be happy that the price is now going down, not knowing that the market maker is manipulating that order to take more liquidity from sellers. So what happens after the sellers have entered their trades, the market maker will start reversing the price, which will go above this accumulation zone. It will take all the stop losses of all the sellers who started selling when the market was manipulating here, and then now it starts to distribute in the direction of the buyers who are few in the market. Okay, remember that the market is always going to move in the direction of the few people in the sentiment. So it will now distribute the price, and then many buyers will start stepping in here, and then they continue buying and in the direction of the market maker, and the market will distribute up there. Okay, so that is how the market maker creates prices or creates trends, consolidations, and manipulations in the market. This is the illustration without the candle. There is this accumulation phase, manipulation, and then distribution. So when I show you this is how it looks like with a 2 candle pattern. So each candle, like for example in a bullish trend, when the market is bullish, we'll see that there is accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Then the next candle also accumulates, manipulates, then distributes. That can be seen like this. This is the 2 candle formation. So you can see that this will form a bullish trend on the market, right? You will see that the market manipulates, accumulates, manipulates, distributes. accumulates, manipulates, distributes in the next candle. So this area here is where most traders get trapped here during this phase between the two candles. That time when this candle is closing towards the closing of the first candle and the next candles open, that area there is where most of the traders lose money, because that area is where the market maker is actually manipulating trades, is accumulating orders for the next candle. We apply this because this area here is where the manipulation is happening, so we also jump into our trades within the manipulation of the market maker model. Okay, so when you go up here, this is how you apply that into the one candlestick strategy. Now you can see that the zone for a bullish market is at the close and the low. The reason why we choose the low and the close is because that covers the manipulation zone, which is this red marked zone here, and the distribution zone. So we'll be getting into our trades within the manipulation zone so that we can also ride the distribution of the candle and get profit. So for example, the next candle is going to do something like this if this market is going to continue bullish. So the next candle will produce this wick. This wick here is the M zone of the manipulation. It is in the M zone where the market maker manipulates. Okay, so we want to get in within that lower wick of the bullish candle. Then this body here, this green body, is the distribution zone. So that is where we want to hold our trade until it reaches TP. Okay, so that is how the one candlestick strategy works. This works on the H4 time frame, daily, weekly, or any other time frame you choose to do this on, right? So you have to understand this model. Once you understand this model, trading will become simpler to you. It will become easier for you to actually spot entries. I know some of you guys want bar replay, but doing bar replay on this will make the video way too long, and some of you guys don't want to watch long videos. But if you want me to do a bar replay with this whole pattern in play, just leave a comment down below. I'll be able to come back and do that. And guys, I want to see your support, guys. Don't watch the video and don't like the video. Please like the video, give a like on the video, and also go and join my free Telegram channel. It has a lot of valuable resources that you can actually use in your trading. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, peace and out.